Welcome in, everybody. I'm Devon O'Day. This is Devon's Table.
I'm Sylvia Gagnier, and we're going to be cooking. We're going cooking today. We're going cooking. The green doorway, we're going cooking. What do you say? We're on the cooking show.
A cooking show. We've lost our minds just a little bit. But because we had that, I have the Irish in me. I mean, there is not a potato I don't like, and there's really no cabbage I don't like, because cabbage and corned beef and lamb and all those beef stews and things are what the Irish live on. And it's not expensive food. I'll tell you, that's why we live on it.
Well, I'm not Irish, but I'm Southern, and you can't beat a good coleslaw. That goes with everything. Mm-hmm, and so I'm a cabbage girl as well. But sometimes you want something that is hot and not cold.
Oh, yeah.
And so this is the most simple, easy recipe. We buy a bag of coleslaw mix. You were talking about having some that, gets donated for your animals here or there. But if you have a bag of coleslaw mix and you make one bowl of coleslaw and it sits in your refrigerator and you're like, what am I going to do with it? Here's what you can do with it. So we have this coleslaw. It came from the farm. This is a mix of both the red and the green. Typically, I would not put red in with it because red cabbage is the same thing as a red onion. It can bleed over in color to what you're doing. But my handy dandy high school choppers picked up the wrong cabbage. And we're not going to waste it. We're going to cook it, right? Because we don't waste anything. On the farm, you waste nothing. It tastes delicious. So it just will be a little bit darker color than what I would like. But since we're going to be using soy sauce, it's going to help hide it a little bit more. So if all you have on hand is red cabbage to braise, go for it. It will still be delicious.
That's for the German people who'll be watching.
That's right. So here we have our cast iron enameled Dutch oven. You don't have a Dutch oven, don't worry. Frying pan works just as good. Just make sure it's a big enough frying pan to kind of get everything down in there, okay? So I take just a tiny bit of oil just so I can not have this stick right to the bottom at the beginning. And that just takes a second because I've already got my pot really hot, okay? The pot is really hot. Don't burn your pot.
I know, I feel it.
Yeah, so if it was colder outside, you'd be like hugging that pot. That's what we say in the kitchen, right? And you can hear it sizzle just a little bit as the cabbage goes in. And I'm going to put a good amount of this cabbage down in here. Will you grab me a wooden spoon? And you get to use that on the cabbage, not on me. And you're just going to stir that around just a little bit. Okay?
You know how she talked about that. The wooden spoon is the discipline implement of choice to some of the mamas that are in kitchens in the South.
I think you thought I might use it on you. You picked a little wooden spoon. You didn't get one of the great big ones over there. You didn't get the. I'm gonna fix you up there, Devon. There you go.
There you go.
All right.
So you don't grab that one.
Okay. This is just gonna start to melt down a little bit, and we're going to just pour in a little bit of soy sauce, and that is going to give it some liquid. A little bit to start, just to start coloring it. If I want a little bit more liquid, I'll put in just a little bit of water, and that will stretch it. You smell the soy.
Oh my gosh.
And your cabbage, you see it in Asian recipes a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so this is a cheater's way to have an easy side dish of cabbage. And so all you're going to do is you're just going to put this in, pop the lid on it, let it rest for about 5 minutes, take the lid off. It's going to have wilted down. The soy sauce is going to be absorbed. You don't need salt. If you want to put a little bit of pepper, you can. That's your side dish. It is literally a soy braised cabbage. It's super fast, super delicious. It goes well with a beef stew. It could go well with some lamb. The soy picks up those other flavors of what you're cooking. You don't have to keep it just with other Asian dishes.
Oh, I mean, it would go great with a chicken dish. It would go well with anything. It
smells good.
Oh, it smells really good. And all you have is olive oil, water, and soy.
And cabbage.
And okay, with your cabbage, yeah.
Leftover cabbage. Sounds like a really bad bluegrass song, doesn't it?
Leftover cabbage. Well, leftover cabbage down, boys.
That's right. Instead of boiling cabbage down, it's saute that cabbage down. So we just pop the lid on it, and we're all good to go, Devon.
Oh, I love it. A wooden spoon, not for spanking anymore. Hey, stick around. We're going to talk more yummy stuff when we come back.
As soon as the doors open at Jack's Craft Smokehouse in West Monroe, Louisiana, the line starts forming.
I want everybody that comes in here to be able to create a memory, one bite at a time, of course.
Tracy Carter's menu is focused on smoked meats and sensational sides that have what Tracy calls his magic dust. He started in the food business by making his own sauces and seasonings.
This is Parmesan cheese, and I put it on before to allow that saltiness to open those sprouts back up for when I put this raspberry chipotle sauce on top of it.
Carter is still very hands-on in the kitchen, although he has mentored people like Joe who can make these world-famous fried Brussels sprouts with his eyes closed.
Once they come out that time, we got our smokehouse season and everything right there. We put our little dust on them, ship them out, and give you your toppings.
I call it the Jack's Crack. I really do. It's the way we do it, the seasonings that we make in-house, and the sauce that we put on them that we make also in-house.
We started eating there when they very first opened, and we didn't know them at all. One day I just happened to mention, or he asked what we did, and I told him I was an insurance agent, plus we have a farm, and immediately as soon as I said we have a farm, he said, well, how can I help? What can we use of yours? What do you have to offer? And he said, I want to use y'all in whatever manner I can. On a restaurant scale, price has to make sense, and so whenever he can, he uses as many things as we have.
Taylor Underwood is a first-generation farmer in Downsville, Louisiana. Neither he nor his wife had any type of ag background.
Moved out here and primarily wanted to homestead and raise our kiddos in a way that they would be outside and enjoying animals and just playing in the dirt, getting muddy and dirty, and learn about where their food comes from, and primarily just homestead so that we would have some security of where our food comes from.
The Underwoods call their regenerative farm 3-board because of this, the 3-board fence that was on the property when they found it in Union Parish. And they started this from scratch, building up a stocker cattle herd, laying hens for eggs and chickens for meat, some pigs, some sheep, and even a milk cow. That was for JD.
And this was something you wanted to do?
Yeah, I'm crazy.
The motto at 3-Board Farms is building soil and feeding souls. And those souls aren't only fed straight to consumer from their on-site store, but through nearby restaurants like Jack's Craft Smokehouse. And Tracy is very happy about that because it's providing not only a great meal to those who sit at his table, but connection to this community.
I've been waiting all day.
I'm Tammi Arender for RFD TV.
Now that you've decided to get a brand new pair of Durango boots, you want to do everything you possibly can to make sure they stay looking as good as they did the first day you pulled them out of the box. One way you can do this is by properly taking care of the leather. Periodic cleanings add longevity, comfort, and keep your boots looking good. Wipe them off. You can use a towel or a damp rag. Wiping them down after heavy use removes dust and mud and allows the leather to breathe and stay flexible. This will keep them looking their best. Furthermore, you can use a brush or an old toothbrush and clean out the welts and the seams to ensure the stitching doesn't break down. Let them dry. Let them dry for 24 hours. Moisture from your feet can stain the leather and cause odors. Drying your boots with heat may cause the leather to crack, so let them dry naturally for 24 hours before wearing them again. Condition your boots. Leather, just like your skin, dries out. A leather conditioner can keep the leather supple and soft. Storing your boots. Keep your boots in a clean and dry location with regulated temperatures. If in a moist or damp condition for an extended period of time, moisture buildup from inactivity can negatively affect certain outsole compounds, lending them to break down.
we're real fortunate that it's here at the Nashville Zoo. This house is real unique. It's actually one of the oldest houses in Davidson County. When Margaret and Elise passed away, they left everything, and that was part of their plan, was to leave everything so people could learn about the past and the history of Middle Tennessee. Margaret and Elise haven't been gone that long. You know, Margaret Croft passed away in 1974 and Elise in 1985. And through visits with our visitors here, we'll get people that come through and say, oh, I was a child and would come by here and visit the sisters, or my parents knew the sisters, or my parents did something, you know, pharmacy or post office or doctor's office and knew the sisters. So that we get those stories, we get those firsthand stories that a lot of people can't get at other historic sites, and that makes it real. You know, that helps us tell the story, but that makes it real. It's not, we're just not talking about these two ladies, we're talking about real people that lived here, that people knew. So that's what's exciting to me.
Because we feel we'd rather have the land than the $1 million that's supposed to be worth.
You would rather have the land?
We'd rather have the land. We've got that strong feeling of the land.
Because really one of the most fascinating aspects of the story, at least to me, is the simple fact they did not have to die poor. They could have simply sold their property. In fact, in 1962, when they were pretty much dead broke, the city offered them $1.2 million for this property. But at that point, they knew the city wanted to build an industrial park out here. They were horrified that their ancestral property would be treated in such a way, and they absolutely refused to sell.
All across the country, people are coming together to speed up what we can learn about health. The All of Us Research Program is calling on 1 million people to join us as we try to change the future of health. For your family, for future generations, for all of us. Visit joinallofus.org and find out how you can become 1 in a million.
My name is Rena Kakani. I'm from Jordan. It's a small country in the Middle East. I love Jordan. I grew up there. I came in 2009 to visit a friend over here, and I met my husband, and we decided that we're gonna start a family over here. There is more help in Jordan for mothers. So when I came here, I found myself by myself with 3 kids. And I wanted a support system for my family. I wanted kids for my kids before they start childcare to play with. So I came to the Y as a member. I started as a member 8 years ago. And then I felt that I need to work here. I felt that I want a place where my kids, I was looking for the support system. When I found the support system, I felt that other moms and other family, they need the support system. The mom, when she comes to the Y, she needs that 2 hours. She needs that, even if she doesn't want to work out, even if she wanna just relax, charge her battery. Motherhood is so hard. If we don't stand by each other as a families, support each other, it needs a village to raise a child. So I look at the people needs and the way I can help people. I look at it from a different angle, and it gives me a different lens to look at the people needs and how I can serve them at the Y and outside of the Y. I am a Muslim American woman, so I look for the people from different angles. The people who just newly came, I know what they want through. I know what the journey they are walking through. And for people who has been here for enough time to blend in the American community. Some of the people, they just start asking questions. They catch the accent, let's say, and whenever they catch the accent, they start asking nice questions. We are welcomed and people love us, and we live in peace. It's not like how the media is showing that it's happening here. I want my kids to know where they are and to be proud where they are from. Not to feel odd because their mom were different. Not to feel odd because mama have an accent or daddy has an accent. And not to feel odd that they don't celebrate certain holidays, but they are off when the kids are in school. For the people who think that I'm too quiet, maybe I'm too different, I speak different, I live different, and I want, by me being here, I want to inspire every woman, every lady, the ones who the people think they are different, that it's good. So we can change, that we don't fit the box. It's good because we have the chance to change it, that we change the box to fit everybody.
Another question that we have from customers is, should I replace my gutters whenever I'm replacing my roof? Now, as you can see behind me, they've got gutters and we've got some tarps that are over the gutters. It's not always necessary to replace the gutters. There are a couple of times that it does make sense. If your gutters are falling loose from the house, if you have fasteners that are starting to back out, or if the wood behind your gutters are rotted or damaged, it might be a really good idea to go ahead and replace it at the same time as the roof. You don't always have to do it. Like with the gutters behind me, the fasteners are hidden fasteners, what we call hidden fasteners with screws. Now the screws go into the back of the gutter, and once the screws are there, it's not coming loose unless the wood comes off. So in a case where you've got good fasteners, the gutter's not pulling loose from the fascia board, it doesn't make sense to replace the gutters. You just protect them and they live to fight another day.
So 410 bridge, 410 bridge, comes from the Bible verse 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 10 that talks about how each and every one of us has a gift from God, and we need to use that gift to administer God's grace to others.
Traveling to these very rural areas and communities in East Africa was eye-opening. It's a standard of living that we in America cannot wrap our heads around. Rocky and crater-filled dirt roads to get you from one village to the next. Each day you see cattle, goats, and sheep and their shepherds making the treacherous trek to the nearest water. And with the country's unique and arid climate and environmental challenges, well, it creates an incredible strain on these people to have a successful farming operation. And that's where 410 Bridge comes in with their Foundations for Farming program.
When you go into a community that is not implementing a sustainable model, what you find are people who have lost their dignity, have lost their purpose, and are not walking in freedom.
Foundations for Farming has truly transformed the lives of many of those in Kenya.
Yeah, beforehand she had a very hard time, but since she went for empowerment under 410, she is now very happy.
Even some of the smallest plots can provide food for their own family and also an abundance to sell at their local market. By foot or motorcycle is the most common mode of transportation, neither conducive to carrying large amounts of fruits and vegetables.
The challenging part is the transportation, if we can remember them in prayers, because sometimes to transport, like is have a vision of having like a motorbike or something like a pickup in the future.
410 Bridge also partners with area schools to teach classes not only on farming, but on how to run a business. Young Esther is using this old-fashioned hand crank mill to turn maize, which we call corn, into flour. There's also a 410 Bridge sponsorship program where people in the U.S. purchase a sheep or a goat for a young person to care for. That has an incredible return for the family.
So with this kind of livestock, she will be able to go to university. But without it, she must stay, hang around, get married earlier, which will not help the family improve economically.
If it was not for the 410 Bridge, I would not have managed to go to the secondary school, or I will just be loitering around finding for minor jobs.
So the Foundations for Farming program isn't just about agricultural projects. It's about relationships. Relationships with those in the community and a relationship with Christ.
When I entered in 410 Bridge, I feel that I'm growing spiritually, and that is what I preach to the parents, to the kids, and also to show them the way to focus and know what God can do in their lives.
Thank you for joining us. Whether you're braising cabbage or whether you're looking for fresh herbs or any kind of fresh goodies, you can always find it at Green Door Gourmet, can't you?
Including me, I'm pretty fresh.
You are pretty fresh. So thank you for all the great things that you teach us here.
Well, it's my pleasure. Part of being a member of the community is imparting knowledge when you have it and being willing to share it. So thank you for the opportunity to do it.
Well, you have cooking classes all the time at Green Door Gourmet. Can we tell people about the cooking classes? They're really fun, and they're a great team building event too if you've got a company.
We do cooking and chop competitions for team building, and I'm getting ready to launch a class on Southern staples. And so you can sign up for a single class or the whole series, and we'll be talking about Southern vegetables and how to season your cast iron and the difference in grits and cornmeal and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you want to learn how to Southern, I'm your girl.
Oh, I love how to Southern. That's great at Green Door Gourmet. You guys, thanks for being with us. If you want to be a blessing, remember, you got to first be one.
When you feel lost and